Come on in. Come on in. We got a lot to talk about. Come on in. Come on in. Let it out. Let it out. I know y'all are pissed off. I know. I know. Tell me in the comments how you feeling. Let it out. I know people are pissed off. Yep, absolutely. This game should have been over in the second quarter. Absolutely. I think this game will serve Alabama well moving forward. I think there were some statements made in this game. W's a W. That's right, Sean. Absolutely right. Roll Tide, DeAndre. Whoo. Jay Walker, what's going on? Y'all go tell your grandma and everybody to get in here. Jeff will be with me in a minute. It's just going to be me for right now. Excuse me. I get the frustration, but Missouri's offensive line was really good. If you watched the show Thursday night, the score, I predicted 27-24. Because of that, I said pass rush was going to be the difference. Alabama did not do well in terms of pass rush. Missouri actually played much better, I think, overall than Alabama. If Missouri had a decent quarterback, that could have got ugly in the second half. Alabama went back to kind of looking like that FSU team a little bit in the second half. Yeah. Couple things I saw right off the bat. I know. I can't do a whole season like this, man. I need a blowout win somewhere. I mean, we're still right in the thick of this thing too. You know what I mean? Like we got Tennessee coming to town. Oh man, I can't do it. I can't keep going, y'all. My heart can't handle it. Come on in, everybody. If you're new here, welcome in. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're watching on X and you have YouTube, go over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Helps us out. We do this after every game, win or lose. Please leave a comment. Leave a big Roll Tide. Let me know where you're watching from. Hit the subscribe button. Do all the things. We're going to talk about this game. Parity has. I've been preaching this, man. I've been preaching this for weeks. Parity has come to college football. You're not going to get those blowout wins like we're used to. They'll happen up in the Big Ten and things like that. But down in the SEC, week in and week out, it's going to be a grind. Doesn't matter who you play. But I think with this game, there's a little bit of frustration because honestly, Alabama should have been up in the half 24-7. And, Ty looked good at times. And then other times he did not look good. He looked a lot like he did at FSU. I see one name popping up in the chat that we are going to talk about extensively here in a minute. On the offensive line, Damani Jackson. I don't know what's going on with Damani, man. He is not playing well. And it doesn't matter if it's in pass, coverage or run support. He is not playing well at all. But I'm going to tell you guys like this. Ty Simpson won that football game for Alabama. That won't be the story. The defense actually played really well in this game. Let's bring it up. Let's go ahead and bring it up on the screen, and we'll take a look at the box score. They did look at the yard difference. This doesn't tell the story of the game. Alabama worked with a shorter field much of the game, especially in the first half. However, in terms of passing yards, we did give up 163 on the ground. A couple of those were big bust plays, just like against Vanderbilt, just like against Georgia. But overall, I thought the defense played pretty well, except for that, that drive right there at the end of the game. I think maybe the pace gave them some problems. However, it's something that I think we're all going to go back and look at is Alabama had a potential to get like 5 turnovers in this daggum game. I think they finished with 2 interceptions, one by Dijon Lee, one by Bray Hubbard. And so, but a dub's a dub, man. Dub's a dub. It was a very tough game. Missouri played with their hair on fire. That showed in the amount of guys we had dropping in this game coming off the field. I'm not gonna I'm not going to speculate too much, but with Jam, I would imagine that's probably a concussion. I know a lot of people are wondering about Ryan Williams. I think there was a statement being made there. Yes, but this is my takeaway, Ralphie. Very good point. Right. I've said that this Alabama team can beat you in multiple ways. I firmly believe when they're playing their best football, and they're not close to playing their best football overall, they could beat anybody. Whether that's going to be a tough, grounded out game. That one drive Alabama had where they just ran it down their throats. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. So I do think that this is a very tough team. I think it's showing that, which is great because everybody called them soft after week one. However, they're showing how tough they are. And, I think if a couple of things get fixed, I don't know what's going on with the personnel issues or swapping out the right side of the offensive line the way they're doing. It's obvious that when Jaden Roberts and Michael Carroll are in there, they're playing better football. Wilkin Formby had a very, very rough outing today. I think the big sack right there on Ty earlier in the game, that was kind of the turning point, and that's what gave Missouri the momentum to get back into the whole thing. And that's where Bama should have gone up 24-7. Formby kind of just crapped the bed. This is 3 games in a row now. I've watched him get pushed back into the quarterback. And I mean, we're not talking about getting beat laterally. Like, he's squared up with the rusher and just getting shoved backwards. Now, Missouri has probably the best pass rush in the SEC. We'll see 2 more really good ones in Oklahoma and Auburn. But I don't think they're going to be the caliber of what Alabama faced today. That showed up. Ty Simpson was sacked, I think, 4 or 5 times. So what was I right about, Herb? That this was going to be a close one? Yeah, man, I picked the score, dude. I said it was going to be 27-24. I did say that it would be Talty with a walk-off, but that didn't happen. But still, it's a good game, to Ralphie's point. I think it's a good game. It's a good experience for the team, especially a lot of these young guys that are getting a significant playing time. It's a good game for them moving forward because the schedule's not going to get any easier. Did it look pretty? No, absolutely not. Did they look like a top 10 team today? No, I don't know. But you also want to take into consideration I hate 11 a.m. kickoffs. You got an 11 a.m. kickoff on the road. Ty played decent, but Formby was the biggest problem. So it is, dude. Brian, you're right, man. This is a tough schedule. Looking ahead of, the fact that they've gone through these past 3 weeks undefeated. I think there's only been 3 teams in the history of the game, or at least in recorded history, that have played 3 ranked opponents in a row and beat all 3. And so Alabama will join that group. Yeah, so it'll be 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 at this point. But we didn't look stellar. You're absolutely right. We didn't. But again, there's a lot. I think, and I've heard Nick Saban say this, when you play a game and win a game and it's ugly, sometimes it's better than blowing somebody out because there's a lot of stuff you can coach and fix. And I think if you look at every position for Alabama in this game, whether it be the running backs, the offensive line, Ty Simpson, defense, there's something there that should be fixed, right? That can be fixed, that can be done better. And I'm telling you, I don't think this team has played their best football. And I think a game like this, a very scrappy game where they had to be the tougher team, they had to grind it out. I mean, that drive, man, that drive with Jam Miller before he went out, that was extremely impressive what they did. So they showed that they could take over a game if they need to, and they started to, and then things went sideways. This was one of those games where everything was kind of going Missouri's way. You had 3 potential turnovers early, and every one of them went right back to Missouri. It just kind of how it's just one of those days, but adversity, right? And Alabama has shown that on the road against a top 15 team, this Missouri team belongs. That's a very good Missouri team. If they had a top 5 quarterback in the country, they would be competing for a national title this year. But also it showed me that Ty Simpson can and will win you football games. That one throw to Latsier Brooks was the best throw I've ever seen him make. It might be one of the better throws I've ever seen an Alabama quarterback make. That was an insanely gifted throw. Yeah, I agree, Jonathan. I think they got beat up pretty bad. We'll see the extent of that on Monday during Coach DeBoer's presser. But to Lance's point, it is another quality win. Let me know how you feel. Latair Brooks has looked great. Very good point. Yes, every Alabama national championship team has had a game like what happened today. I think back to, was it the 2009 team? Maybe I can't remember, but the Rocky Block, like that Tennessee game at home where, they had to make something happen and end up blocking 2 kicks to win the game. Every national championship team for Alabama has had a game like this. I think for the last national championship team, it was the SEC championship, if I remember correctly. Didn't that one just go back and forth with Florida? I think. Let's check it. We're checking right now, folks. Yeah, that was a game that just kind of went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's going to serve the team well in the long run. That's a good point. I've thought about that leading up into this week. At some point, they've got to be exhausted. But we also have to remember that applies to the team they're facing, they're lining up against between the lines as well. That's up to the coaches, man. The coaches have to keep these kids motivated and keep them hungry, especially when they're having success, right? I think that what Alabama is doing right now, a lot of the young guys, Latair Brooks is a great example. DeAndre is talking about play Brooks over Williams. Well, the reason that Brooks is getting the time he is because those young guys are hungry. Ryan Williams obviously has something mental going on. And I think personally, I think that when you play these young guys, Dijon Lee looked fantastic today. Also, just another, everybody ragged on me because I was really high on Justin Jefferson last season. He did not have a great year, but Justin Jefferson is looking like a baller right now. Some folks owe me some apologies. I'm just saying. But these young guys are getting playing time. They're hungry, and I think that's a good way to kind of keep the gas because we're only halfway through this stretch, right? I think looking at Alabama's football schedule, we've got obviously Tennessee coming up this week. That's not going to be a given. You're going to go to Columbia, South Carolina, and then you bring in LSU, you bring in Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, and Auburn. Alabama can only, if they want to be in the playoff, even with their strength of schedule, I don't trust what the committee has said about, strength of record is going to be weighted heavier. If Alabama wants a shot at the playoff, they can only lose one more of those games. And so, and there's a couple of them where they may not be favored. Right now, I think the Oklahoma game, they may not be favored in that game. We'll see how Oklahoma looks against Texas. But we do need a bye week, but we still have, I think, 2 weeks until we get it. Yeah, we still got 2 weeks until we get a bye week. So, yeah. And Tennessee is going to give our secondary some issues. Joey Aguilar is going to give us some problems. I'll go ahead and tell you that right off the bat. Prepare yourselves. I think that's probably going to be another close game that we're all struggling. So, anyway, how did you guys feel about Ryan Williams? What do you think is going on with Ryan Williams? Let me know in the comment section. It's been kind of crazy him not playing, and today, he did play, but he didn't play much. Something obviously is going on. I think he's got some mental stuff going on that they're trying to get figured out. Personally, I don't know that for sure. That's just my assumption. Tell me what you think in the comments. They did on that touchdown play, Kenneth, the big play to Isaiah Horton, I think it was. Yeah, they did. They certainly used him as a decoy there. But right now, to see Rob's point, Lottie is playing. This week at least, he played the best in my opinion. I did a video on this, and I suggested that this could be I just think there's something mental going on with him. I think that potentially you got to think Ryan came in really young, and I think that the pressure might be getting to him a little bit. If you start looking into sports psychology, stuff like that, Alabama's very concerned with that. They have staff there in Tuscaloosa who specifically work with the players on their mental health. So I something going on. But I think at some point in time he'll come along and he will certainly make a difference at some point when we need him. I thought it might be today. A big round of applause, if you will. Remember Jay Walker. Thank you for joining the Waaaay Offsides family. You got the yips, I guess, maybe. But no, let's look back at some of these stats from this game. Just looking at it, Alabama. It's interesting because everything was so even, and Missouri's offensive output wasn't terrible, but Alabama's defense actually played pretty well. That's not going to get talked about a lot because a lot of these, this 161 through the air, the 163 on the ground, a lot of these were on chunk plays. The big Missouri play came on Alabama pretty much. They were kind of disheveled. They weren't in position, and Missouri went really, really fast. I think that was like a 40, 50-yard play. Where Alabama beat them was in third down efficiency again, and that is strictly because of Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, and this game won't show it because of his stats, but Ty Simpson is playing lights out football right now. And I mean lights out. Even with the rough game he had today, Ty Simpson won that game for us. Absolutely a baller, man. Ty Simpson might be the best quarterback we've had in a couple of years. He might be the best overall quarterback in the country. I do think that he had a couple plays today where he tried to do a little too much. He'll learn from that, hopefully. He seems to have learned from those things in the past. Thank you so much. Big time applause. Thank you for the gift, Bama girl. We love you. Your family. You know that. Yeah, he did get a lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure. Oh, are you talking about Ryan? You're still talking about Ryan J. Walker? Probably. But it's good to see you. Yeah, Coker. Coker. See, you just made me call him Coker. He does, man. He does kind of look like Jake Coker out there. I agree. But I think Simpson, man, Simpson's not losing Alabama games. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have a quarterback, and last year was a great example. Jalen Milroe was a run first quarterback. If Milroe could process and throw the way Ty Simpson does, man, he would have been absolutely unstoppable. But if we're being honest, there were a couple of games where Jalen Milroe lost the game for Alabama. Oklahoma was one of them. Ty Simpson doesn't do that as of right now. He hasn't shown that. And even in a game where things aren't going his way, he still finds a way to win. And this is the kind of game, I think, much like you're talking about that Coker run against Ole Miss. This is the kind of game that will continue to build confidence of the team and the fan base, the coaching staff into Ty Simpson. And so I feel good about what I'm seeing from him. I think the coaches kind of failed on the game planning a little bit offensively. I think Ryan Grubb, I don't know. He got a little cute too early, and then he got a little vanilla when he probably should have been cute. He got away from the run a couple of times, which, put Ty in a really tough position. Formby's in there for some reason, getting driven into the quarterback every play. And then, then all of a sudden he just decides to go ground and pound. So it's pretty unpredictable, which is a good thing. But I think Grubb's got to figure out what he wants the identity to be of this offense moving forward. And I think that's where Alabama fans are kind of struggling, because we don't know, is this a run first team? They're getting better at running the ball. We'll see what that looks like if Jam Miller's out for an extended period of time, which I think he'll be out for at least a week, potentially. So well, do we want them to be ground and pound? Do we want them to be this cutesy, unique trick play offense? Do we want them to be, an offense that runs off of play action? I think Ryan Grubb is still trying to figure out that identity, but what it tells me right now with a guy like Ty Simpson as captain is Alabama can beat you in several ways. They took over that game in the third quarter. I think it was in the third quarter, with that long extended drive with Jam Miller. That was a thing of beauty because that was the difference in the game, in my opinion. It took the wind out of Missouri's sails for a little bit. A couple things went right for them, as it seems like it did the entire game. Get used to it. We're going to have a lot of close ones. I'm telling you guys, Kalen DeBoer doesn't blow people out. He didn't at Washington. He found a way to win close games. That's what Alabama's doing right now. I will say that there's some comfort in the fact that if Alabama played better, played to their caliber, there were opportunities there for them to put that game away very, very early. Like I said, it could have been 24-7 going in the half. It probably should have been. And when Wilkin Formby gave up that big sack down there, that kind of changed things. And we had to settle for that field goal. That really kind of changed the momentum of the game. And then, Ty gets sacked the opening drive of the second half and fumbles. And that's what allowed Missouri back into it. Man, yeah, I agree with you, man. I just, especially when you've got Michael Carroll sitting back there, who, if you follow Clint Lamb, Clint Lamb's really big on Michael Carroll. I am too. I watched Carroll play some grown man football today. Michael Carroll is just different. I don't know why they're constantly changing out that side of the line. Personally, for me, and I don't get paid millions of dollars to coach this team, so really, I'm going to question it, but it's not, my opinion doesn't matter. Personally, for me, I think the fix is Jaden Roberts and Michael Carroll. I do think that Formby would probably have more success at guard, but I don't get to make that call. So, sure. Yeah. I mean, it was scary. It was scary. I was up. I usually don't stand up during games and do the whole, I'm sure you all know Superfan JT. I don't do that during games. But I was close today. I was very close today. That last drive by Missouri, I was kind of like, I had a feeling it was going to end in a pick. Sometimes those things are a little predictable, just because you're putting a quarterback who's a little shaken up into a 2-minute situation. That games often end in interceptions. So I was expecting it to happen, but at the same time, the way the game had gone for Missouri, I'm like, something's going to happen. They're going to, somebody's going to bust in the secondary and there's going to be a wide open receiver or something. And that's going to be it. Thank the good Lord it didn't happen. Damani Jackson, a lot of folks feel this way. I'm not going to say he's overrated. I just think he's getting outplayed right now. They did bench him for a little bit, which was good, and they put him back in there, and he immediately got burned. So, agreed. I try not to. I do sometimes. I try not to, but sometimes, man, we're also emotionally invested in this team, right? We're also just, even though we know deep down inside, like, this isn't 10 years ago. This isn't that dominant style Alabama team. Our expectations are so high for Alabama, no matter what happens, no matter who the head coach is. And some of that's Nick Saban's fault, but our expectations are so high. Sometimes it's hard not to just yell and scream. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just tough. Hey, Bo, welcome in. Roll Tide. Another W. Another Saturday, another W at the end of the day. That's all that matters. You know what they call somebody who wins the national championship by 1 point? They call them national champion. So it's all about winning. It's all about winning. I will say that I don't think, I'm getting up there. I'm not as young as I used to be. I've got some health stuff going on. I don't know if my heart can handle this for another half of the season. I'm just saying, it's me too. You got to give them credit. Coach Drink had those boys ready to go. I think they were more ready for this game than Alabama was, personally. I think with having to travel, it being that, y'all know how I feel about 11 a.m. kickoffs. If you don't subscribe to the channel and watch our lives, you'll hear me complain about them all the time. I think they're stupid. I think that it is setting teams up for failure. And there are some really good teams that have lost in that 11 a.m. time slot that didn't get a shot at a championship run because of it. Eric, I'm not going to put your comment up, but you're not wrong. So, and that's the key right now, man. Just keep winning. Just keep winning. I will say, I felt, I've always kind of thought Coach Drink was funny, right? Because if you hear him, he's always cracking jokes. He's a little passive aggressive sometimes, but I will say, to your point, Cool Papa C, I noticed that too. There was some dirty stuff going on in this game. There were a lot of face masks that weren't called, a lot of late hits. There were a couple that weren't called on Missouri. These guys were gunning to put players down, and it showed up in the bodies on the ground in white jerseys. So, and they did come off a bye week. You're absolutely right. That's another factor that a lot of people aren't going to talk about. Missouri did have 2 weeks to prepare for this game and still lost. There you go. There you go, Eric. You made the screen, buddy. I love that you censored yourself. That's hilarious. Let's see if I lost sight of that when you're bad. Everybody knows. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. And the way this game was billed all week, that's why the line shifted. That's why the talking heads started talking about Missouri being favored to win this game. Not per Vegas, but a lot of people were picking Missouri to win this game because people started to realize, like, this is a huge deal for them. Everything was kind of setting up for Alabama to fail, and it did. It absolutely happened that way. Alabama just kind of overcame the adversity. That's why I'm saying, like, as dirty as it looked, as nasty as it looked in this game, I think this game is going to serve Alabama very, very well down the stretch if they have enough gas in the tank. I can't remember who said it earlier, but that's going to be a huge deal. There are a couple of player positions that people need to get figured out. Formby, Damani Jackson's not playing well. And then obviously we need to find out what's going on with Jam Miller, as Terry's asking. We don't know for sure. We won't know until Monday. I'm guessing a concussion. That's my guess, just based off the hit, what it looked like, the way he went down. Kind of same thing Derek Meadows had there in the first quarter. That was a dirty ass hit. The one on Derek Meadows and the one on Jam Miller was it was a solid hit, but I felt like he was kind of giving himself up. But I'm also biased, so well, they did it for a drive. They did it for an entire drive, and it looked phenomenal. But then in the game, they couldn't pick up a first down doing it with Daniel Hill, which is weird. I don't know why you don't, right there when you need to pick up that first down to put the game away, you don't put Kevin Riley in. He's been your best back outside of Jam Miller. I don't know why they didn't give him a try. I feel like the coaching staff is still trying to figure things out with this team, which in some ways could be good, but in other ways we're halfway through the season, and that could be a little problematic. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should know by now who should be the starter, right? If we as fans can see that Wilkin Formby is getting driven into the quarterback multiple times a game, and then Michael Carroll comes in and is pretty solid, the coaches have to recognize that too. So there's got to be something they're trying to do. It may be trying to make sure they're giving these kids enough playing time so they don't transfer. I don't know. I really don't know, but something is going on there. And I've never seen this before. Not with Alabama, not with anybody else. Alabama plays so many people. And I don't know how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? Yes, there 100% will be a huge fumble concern with a left tackle carrying the ball. It's cute. It's funny because my son and I were watching, and he's like, "Why don't we just put Proctor in on the goal line, and let him try to score?" I'm like, because at some point, getting that cute's going to go sideways. And yeah, I mean, you got to think with a fumble on the goal line, that would be. That would not just shut Alabama down; it would shift momentum. So, I think I think you want to be very selective about how you do that. Plus, you don't want to risk getting your left tackle, your first round left tackle, hurt. Somebody cutting his knees or something like that, tackling him. So, I think you want to be very strategic about how you use Caden Proctor in these plays. And so, I really felt like the one play they ran at the goal line, they could have run it again. One more time. I think he would have probably got it. I thought they were going to and let him score. I thought he was going to score on the first carry. So what's up, Steven? Another Waaaay Offsides member. Good to have you in, buddy. Hope you're doing well. How you feeling, Steven? Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that as well. It's what I'm saying. They're trying to rotate in so many guys. It's got to be confusing, at some point in time. But we all did. We all did, buddy. Every one of us lost years on our life. Every single one of us. It's okay, though. It's all right. We're all here. It's over with. We're all going to take a deep breath. We're going to watch and judge everybody else the rest of the day because they're not Bama. And then we're going to regroup and come together this week and get ready for our rivalry with Tennessee. So, which I think will be a very interesting game. I think just kind of looking ahead a little bit, I think Alabama's pass rush will be very big in that game. And they have gotten better. I will say, listen, this Missouri team, this offensive line that they played today, it was a very good, very, very good offensive line. Alabama's played 3 really, really good offensive lines in a row. In Georgia, Vanderbilt. I know it's weird saying Vanderbilt, but trust me, Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Missouri. Tennessee's I don't think is as good. South Carolina's definitely isn't as good. LSU's is up there, but I don't think they're as good. Oklahoma's will probably be the next best, really, really good offensive line we play. So I expect the pass rush to do some work over the next couple of weeks, especially after they get that bye and can get a little healthier. Yeah. 3rd and Womack, man. Or it was 4th and Womack on that one. So Metallica for life. What's your favorite Metallica song? You got to answer the question and then I'll answer yours. Okay. What's your favorite Metallica song? Georgia did. I don't know about Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt may have. Tennessee's off this week. Fantastic. Beautiful. Beautiful. 1. Nice. So let's answer a question. I guess we got to be nice. I think Ty Simpson tried to do a little bit too much today. I think he played well. Ty Simpson won that game. If you're going to put that win on somebody's shoulders, it's got to be Ty Simpson. He did some amazing things, again, as he's been doing. But I will say there's a couple times where he tried to do a little bit too much. We really need Ty Simpson to learn to throw the ball away. That is a big downside of him. I think he gets a little greedy sometimes. Because he wants to make a play. So need him to kind of learn to throw the ball away. I'm not going to question him because I think Ty Simpson wins football games, man. If they're low scoring games, he can win them. If they're high scoring games, he can beat you in a shootout. Ty Simpson is, he's our quarterback and he is master of puppets. Nice. My favorite is Creeping Death. Just putting it out there. Big Metallica guy, play some guitar. So, yeah. Overton is stepping up, having a fantastic season. Justin Jefferson's looking good. Deontay Pierre's looking good. How about Keon Keeley getting in there and getting his first sack? They need to rotate him in more. I told you guys going into this season that Alabama was going to be very gifted in terms of depth. This was going to be one of the more deep teams in the country, and it's showing up because injury bug is definitely knocking on Alabama's door. Yeah, it's nice to see a lot of these hit the lights, dude. Nice. It's nice to see a lot of these guys getting in there and getting their play time. So yeah, London Simmons. Yeah, there we go. Keeley. Here we are. Yep. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's got to at some point in time understand the play's dead. Just get it out. Don't take a loss. Now, I will say some of that is on the right side of his line. The left side of his line, Parker Brailsford playing great. I think Ty Simpson should have had an interception today. Parker Brailsford bailed him out. But, that was a very errant and stupid throw. I think there's 2 sides of Ty Simpson. You get the panic side that we saw at FSU, and then you get the control side that we've seen the last couple of weeks. And I think he kind of teetered that line between those 2 personalities a little bit today. But he won the football game. I agree. I've been looking, Jay Walker, man, I have been looking all offseason. I was looking for guys who are going to step up, who are going to be those third down monsters. And I think these 2 will be it. I think in the next couple of weeks, when we're playing offensive lines who aren't as good as we played right now, they're going to make a humongous difference, especially Yanze Pierre. I absolutely love that guy. He was the same way. Jalen was the same way. We had a lot that were the same way. Surprisingly, yes, he has been a weak link. He hasn't played well this season. I don't know why, but I wish I knew what was going on with him. I really do. He was going to be one of the highest graded corners in the country coming into this year. And man, he has just been getting eaten alive. Dijon Lee Jr. stepped up today, had a really good game. So sure. Yeah, and that's what you want. That's a great comment. He extends more plays than he ruins by holding on to the ball. Yeah, he does. And I mean, there's been a couple of plays where we saw there was that first down that he picked up against Vanderbilt last week where he hit Isaiah Horton at the very last second. That's because he rolled out and held on to the ball. And I think that's his mentality every play. Just sometimes, man, you just got to give up on it. But it's not the entire offensive line, Ken. It's the right side, man. It is the right side. Now, again, unless we end up playing Miami or Ohio State at some point in time in the season, that might be the best pass rush we're going to play all year. And they got one of their guys back off of an injury. So we were playing them at full strength off of a bye week. They had a really, really good plan. They were speed rushers. I said in a video a couple of days ago that I thought the tackles were going to struggle a little bit because of that speed rush. It showed up on the right side. Caden Proctor actually did a really, really good job. And then some of it was Jam Miller. Like, if we're going to be honest, we could put it on the offensive line, but when they're overloading the line and bringing an extra blitzer, it's usually the running back's job to chip that person to pick it up. Or if there's a tight end, Jam Miller was missing a few. I think he missed like 3 in total. There was one nasty sack of the sack on Ty where he looked like he got hurt and he fumbled the ball. That was on Jam Miller. So he completely missed his assignment. Yep. There we go. Absolutely right. Yes. Yeah, I think Alabama is only going to be comfortable kicking inside the 40. Talty is not good. Punting is a concern. Keep in mind, we're also very, very spoiled what we've had over the past couple of years with James Burnup and Will Reichert. I just hope that it doesn't come down to a point to where we have to kick to win. Alabama's got to be scoring touchdowns. Now, another trend that I've seen with Alabama, I want to know if you guys have noticed this too, over the past couple of games, is Alabama has not been good in the red zone. Some of it, I think, is play calling. Some of it is the offensive line on the right side. Some of it is even on Ty Simpson. But Alabama's offense has stalled out a lot in the red zone over the last 2 weeks, and that's something that they've got to get figured out. If you get inside the 20, you've got to walk away with 7 points. They had 2 opportunities to do that today, and again, be up multiple scores at the half and basically put that game away, and they did not do it. There we go, Steven. Right, yep. There we go. Thanks for the donation. Steven's absolutely right. Short yardage and red zone has to be better. Grub may get in his own way. Teams show grit. Depth should separate us late in the year. I agree. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, absolutely. College, you're not wrong, K-Dub. It's good to see you back, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing all right. We have. What kind of improvement did you see? I'm interested to get your thoughts on this. I feel like you've got a pretty good grasp of what you're talking about. So, yeah, share that with me. I'd love to hear it. Reuben Foster's here, lobbying for Jeremy Pruitt now. You don't want Glenn Schumann? You want Pruitt now? Why is that? For those of you who don't check out our lives, you probably won't get that joke, but yeah, dude, we've been saying it. I don't understand the philosophy here. I don't understand really what's going on, why Roberts and Carroll aren't playing more. I don't understand why they keep plugging them in and pulling them out. I'm not the head coach. KW, you got any thoughts on that, man? Well, hold on. Sorry, Albert, I was talking about this a little bit earlier. It felt like they were trying to get a little cute when they didn't need to be cute and they just needed to kind of be more direct and vanilla, and then vice versa in the second half. Again, though, that drive where they just kind of ran it down their throats, that was a thing of Charlie Strong. That was a thing of beauty. It shouldn't be. Glenn Schumann's trash. So we're on the Jeremy Pruitt train. I'll get on that train with you, man. I'll get hashtag save Jeremy or free Jeremy Pruitt. I'm with you. Yeah, I would love to have Jeremy Pruitt back at Alabama. Not even gonna lie. Yeah, no, Khalid, we looked at the numbers a little while ago, and I'm going to bring them back up so we can talk about this comment. Hopefully you guys can see them. It looks bad on paper, right? Missouri, they totaled 324 yards. It looks bad on paper, but the majority of those big passing plays, or excuse me, that passing yardage and that rushing yardage came on really big plays, right? Ultimately, throughout the game, Alabama really defensively did a pretty good job, especially with this running back. Let's see where he finished. He finished with 52 yards, man. He finished 12 carries, 52 yards. This was a guy that was averaging 12 yards a carry. Pribula got him a little bit on the ground, but I think ultimately, the defense actually played very, very well, and they're getting better week in and week out, and they're getting better against multiple different looks, right? Vanderbilt and Missouri. I told you guys Missouri was going to try to do some of the stuff that FSU did. Their offensive coordinator, I think Eli used to work with Gus Malzahn. They did do a little bit of that. And Alabama, most of the time, was pretty disciplined, much like Vanderbilt. They did give up a couple of pop plays here or there, but ultimately the eye candy and stuff like that, those linebackers were extremely disciplined. There was one amazing tackle, not the one late in the game, earlier in the game, that Justin Jefferson had on a zone play, an inside zone play, where everybody else kind of bit one way and Jefferson stayed home and made a fantastic play. And I mean, then obviously late in the game, he had that beautiful tackle to save the first down. So the defense is coming along. There's going to be, look, guys, every week there's going to be a weak spot in your defense. Ideally, you want everybody playing at their highest level every Saturday, but it's not going to happen. Somebody's going to be dogging it. That's on any team. And right now, lately, it's been Damani Jackson. So, hey, what's up, Jeff? Jeff, when you coming, man? Jackson's been he's been underwhelming for sure. Do you think so, Albert? You think Missouri's better? I think Vandy has a much better quarterback. I think if you take Diego Pavia and put him on Missouri, Alabama struggles to stop them today. Bingo. There you go. Yep. Now, let's look at the rankings here. So we're going to look at total offense for next week. I'll go ahead and bring that up so you guys can see it. Just a second, guys. This is a straight up live show, so nothing's pre-planned. So catching production in action. All right. So looking ahead, right. So Alabama just played the fourth best offense in the country, right? Before that, they played last week, this is the Vanderbilt's 22nd best offense in the country. And next week at home, they're going to play the sixth best offense in the country, right? Averaging 357 yards. Absolutely torched Georgia. This is going to be coming off of a bye week. But Missouri, offensively, will probably be the best offense Alabama plays all season. Florida State's up there. We know what happened in that game. Alabama's defense hasn't been able to catch a break in terms of the offensive they played. And I think they're playing a lot better than people realize, because right here, Alabama's schedule is one of the hardest in the country. We're so used to Alabama blowing through a schedule. It doesn't matter who's really on there and beating people by, 17 points, that, this is kind of new, right? So because somebody said it earlier, parity has come to college football. Everybody's good. Not everybody's good, but a lot more people are good, especially in the Southeastern Conference. So We're going to see a lot more games like this. We're going to see a lot more games where the little things matter. But again, what was so interesting about today is everything seemed to go Missouri's way. If you look at the halftime stats, Missouri had outgained Alabama in almost everything because of the field of play. Alabama was, they were playing with a short field a lot, but Alabama overcame those things, overcame that adversity, and won the game, and that is humongous. I think they thought size was going to be an advantage. I really think it should have been Kevin Riley in there trying to pick up that first down to ice it. I don't know, man. I don't know why that happened. That was very strange. I'm not watching it yet. I will as soon as we're done here. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alabama's schedule doesn't get any easier. They've got a margin of error, in my opinion, right now, one loss. Now, I will say, if Alabama loses to Oklahoma, and then potentially loses to Tennessee this week or an LSU, right? So they finish the season with 3 losses. I think more than ever, they will have a legitimate argument to get into the playoff. Even with 3 losses, it would be very hard to say with a straight face that they're not one of the best 12 teams in the country just because of that schedule. It's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. We're playing a Florida-like schedule this year, which shouldn't happen, but are you asking when the time of possession is or what it was? I think Alabama owned time of possession pretty well, actually. Time of possession, Alabama had the ball for almost 39 minutes. Missouri had it for 22, just under 22 minutes. Yes, it was key. I was like, whiskey? What kind? Judge Juan, yeah, I think there's a lot of people who feel that way. I think Grubb just gets a little too cute sometimes, honestly. And he's new to the SEC. Yes, I know that he was, with the Seahawks last year. But his college experience was out in the Pac-12. So, he's learning the SEC just like everybody else. So give the defense credit, give them their flowers, give them their kudos, guys. They did exactly what they needed to do this, to win. Hey, do me a favor. If you're new here, there are 337 of you watching on X. There's 58 of you watching on YouTube. If you are not watching on YouTube, go over to YouTube when you're done here and hit the subscribe button, please. I expect all 330 or 73 of you to do that, please. It helps us out. You can find the YouTube channel by typing in Waaaay Offsides. That's Way with 4 A's. Tell them, Skip.
Waaaay. This is all caps. Waaaay. Waaaay.
Thank you. Checks in the mail. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. You won't miss a daggum thing. We'll send everything to your phone. A lot of recruiting news coming up, I think. Hit to see our really cool segments like that, Goal of the Week. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go watch some more football. I hope you all do too. Thank you guys for hanging out with me in this post game. Ultimately, my takeaways are Ty Simpson will win you football games. This was a very, very gritty game. Damani Jackson, Wilkin Formby cost Alabama a blowout win in this one. Defense is getting better every single week, which is outstanding. And that's what we want. So moving on, we'll start covering Tennessee in 24 hours. Thanks for sticking around with me. You guys are the absolute best. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.